Welcome back. So Gen Z says the world feels scary, and new findings show that fear is only growing.
This is sad to me. Dr. Gabriel Rubin talked with young people for 3 years and says their optimism is sliding fast. He's joining us live to explain. And we just discussed there is some room for hope. We'll get to that in a minute. But what are young people telling you right now? What are the specifics?
So specifically, what I've found is that whereas they used to believe that they could be a vanguard for change as a generation, they're beginning to feel, and really by beginning, I mean in the last year or so, especially the lead up to the presidential election, they're beginning to see and feel that they themselves are divided. And I think also, I'll just add, the economic piece that you just talked about in the last segment, this inflation has really taken a bite out of their lives and their perception of optimism. It's a lot of young people are starting their first jobs. Many are in school. Many are not making high income. So, the fact that a sandwich costs $20 is hurting them more than other generations.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and Dr. Rubin, we said you've been doing this for years. I think 2022 is when you started this. What sparked that interest to look into this? You're a father. Did you notice anything?
It wasn't my kids. I mean, honestly, I was just captivated with this idea that there was a new generation that I was teaching, and I wanted to get to know them more. I read a book by Jean Twenge called iGen. She was calling Gen Z iGen then. And I wanted to just explore this area. It wasn't an area that I was researching before, so I just started, just out of curiosity, researching, interviewing people. And as I said in the beginning, a lot of problems that they mentioned, but they would place those problems at the feet of their elders, right? People they call quote unquote boomers. I mean, I've been called that myself, but as I said, a little more cynicism now because they see that some of the problems that affect older generations are affecting them too, including, inflation and political division, these divisions between conservatives and liberals in our country that divides every group of people.
Well, I do find that interesting, and it's interesting that you did want to research this because I think even the Democratic Party was looking to probably research this after some of the last elections. A lot of people saying that they took young people for granted. So you are seeing in your research that divisiveness, they are feeling that there are two very different parties, and young people are going along with one or the other. They're not just on board with one party anymore.
Absolutely. So there's a big divide. There's a gender divide there. Young women are still very liberal, and one reason is that they care a lot about reproductive rights. In almost every interview I do with a young woman, she mentions erosion of rights, reproductive rights. Young men do not mention those. I don't ask about them, but they don't mention them. One person ever mentioned them. But young men are becoming more conservative, and so there is this gender division. In general, as a group, young people feel that they don't like the two-party system.
Interesting.
They would like to have either
more of a middle
more
ground
selection or something. I mean, someone told me. I mean, it is a smart point. He said, there's so many choices for everything.
Yeah.
Right, in our country, but when you come to the thing that seems to be most important, who will lead us, who will represent us, there's two, I know there's not literally, technically there's more choices, right? There's these smaller parties, but it's correct. There's only two choices for something so important. Where I can choose a bar of soap, there's 100 choices. Why is that? And I thought that is a good point.
And Dr. Rubin, we have to go, but the hope is what we want to know here is how do you find hope when you're feeling like this, when you're feeling so fearful and scared of the future? Where does the optimism come in?
I think the optimism is that these are young people. They're an evolving group, and I think that they're going to grow and learn and get resilient. I saw a lot of cynicism around protests after they thought that their protests weren't getting results. But lately I've seen a lot more resilience, people realizing that, civil rights and women's rights weren't won in a day. So I think that these are young people. They're learning just like the rest of us. And so there's definitely hope. Everyone has to pick themselves up when they have setbacks, and that's something that this group of people is learning as well.
Okay, well, Dr. Gabriel Rubin, thank you so much for being with us and dissecting all that. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.